Welcome to Byte-Sized Tech, where we blend casual conversations with insightful discussions on the latest in technology and gadgets. Today, we're doing a bit of a deep dive, looking at some seriously cool screen innovations, stuff that really jumped out at Display Week 2025.
Yeah, it was quite the showcase, and a lot of the buzz, well, it was around TCL CSOT. They're the display-making part of TCL, the folks supplying screens everywhere.
Right, the B2B side.
Yeah.
So this is like a sneak peek at the tech that might end up in our phones, our TVs, maybe even our cars down the line.
Exactly. Think of it as looking under the hood at what's coming next. They were definitely pushing the boundaries.
Okay, so one thing they kept talking about was this.
Mhm.
Apex Innovative Platform. Sounds a bit like marketing speak, maybe? What's the actual idea there?
Yeah, it sounds grand, but the core idea is pretty solid, actually. It's about designing displays that are, well, smarter. They're focusing on energy efficiency, being more eco-friendly where they can, obviously packing in cutting-edge tech, but also really thinking about how we use these things.
So human-centered design, like for home or work or even in the car.
Precisely. Different scenarios need different things from a display, right? It's not just about raw specs, but the overall experience.
Makes sense. Okay, so digging into the specifics. Inkjet printing OLED, or IJP OLED, that one caught my eye. Are they literally printing screens like documents?
Sort of. It's way more precise, obviously. But yeah, the basic idea is printing the tiny organic pixels directly onto the panel. And the potential benefits are pretty interesting. You still get those amazing OLED blacks and vibrant colors we love.
Right, the standard OLED goodness.
Exactly. But this method, IJP, it could mean less waste during manufacturing. So potentially greener.
Okay, greener is good.
And maybe, just maybe, more cost-effective, especially for bigger screens or producing things at massive scale. That's the hope, anyway.
So better tech, maybe greener, maybe cheaper eventually. Sign me up. And they're thinking this could go into, what? Phones, laptops, TVs.
Pretty much the whole range. They showed concepts from like a 6.5-inch mobile display all the way up to this huge 65-inch 8K TV. Wow.
Yeah. The CEO, Jun Zhao, he was quoted saying, IJP OLED is a redefinition of what's possible, and highlighted its unmatched scalability. They seem pretty bullish on it.
That 65-inch 8K, I saw some specs. 120 hertz refresh rate. Pretty bright, too, like 800 nits.
Bright enough that glare hopefully isn't too much of an issue.
But the thing that really stood out to me was the viewing angles. They claimed improvements there, like no more bad seat on the couch.
That's a big part of it. Because of how the pixels are printed, it seems to reduce that color shift or dimming you get when you're off to the side. So yeah, potentially fewer arguments about who sits where for movie night. It could actually make a real difference in a living room setup.
Okay, I'm definitely intrigued by IJP OLED.
But that wasn't all, right? They also had micro-LED stuff, including something incredibly tiny.
Oh, yeah. They went to the other extreme. They showcased what they called the world's smallest silicon micro-LED display. It was 0.05.
0.05. That's minuscule. What's the point of something that small?
Think next-generation smart glasses, AR, VR headsets, things you wear.
Okay, so you need super tiny, super dense displays right near your eye.
Exactly. And this little thing apparently packs in, get this, 80 pixels per inch.
Whoa.
And the brightness, over 4 million nits. It's kind of hard to even comprehend.
4 million nits. That sounds almost dangerously bright. But I guess for AR overlays in daylight, you'd need that kind of power.
Precisely. The hands-on impression suggested it was really lightweight, very portable, obviously, and just stunningly bright. It hints at where wearables could go much sleeker, much more capable.
That feels like proper sci-fi becoming real.
Yeah.
Okay, so from the tiny to the enormous, they also had a giant micro-LED screen, didn't they?
They did. A 219-inch MLED display, just massive.
Absolutely.
Shows the scalability for, like, home cinemas or commercial displays.
A 219-inch TV. My wall isn't ready for that.
Mine neither. But what I thought was perhaps even cooler was their transparent micro-LED.
Transparent, like see-through screens.
Yeah, imagine graphics or information just sort of floating on a clear panel.
Okay, now that's futuristic. Where would you even use that?
Well, think museums' information appearing right over an artifact. Or maybe high-end restaurants with menus seemingly projected onto glass dividers, retail displays. The possibilities are pretty wild.
That could really change how we interact with digital info in physical spaces. Very cool.
And they didn't forget about cars either. They showed off what they called the world's narrowest splicing dual-curve display, a 23.6-inch screen designed specifically for vehicle interiors.
So those sleek dashboard spanning screens we're starting to see, They're working on the next evolution of that.
Looks like it. It definitely points towards how car cabins are going to keep evolving.
It really feels like CSO is trying to, lead the pack here. I saw a quote where they basically said they're not following trends, they're defining the future of display.
Yeah.
That's quite confident.
It is confident, but based on what they showed at Display Week, they're putting their R&D money where their mouth is. They seem serious about moving beyond just lab concepts. They want this stuff, like IJP OLED and microLED, to become commercially viable, at scale. They admitted microLED is still early days, but are optimistic.
So, putting the pieces together, it's about making OLED potentially more efficient and scalable with IJP, while also pushing the absolute cutting edge with different flavors of microLED.
That seems to be the strategy, yeah. Covering different bases, solving different problems, from everyday TVs to niche, high-end applications.
So for everyone listening, think about this. The tech we just talked about, that could be powering much better AR glasses soon, or your next stunning TV, or maybe even the dashboard in your future car.
Absolutely. It's all groundwork for making our interactions with screens more seamless, maybe more power efficient, and definitely more visually impressive. It's exciting stuff.
Definitely a lot to look forward to on the display front. It really makes you wonder what our visual world will look like in, say, 5 or 10 years.
The pace is just incredible, isn't it? This showcase was a fascinating glimpse.
Well, thanks for tuning in to Byte-Sized Tech. We hope you enjoyed this quick dive into the world of displays. If you did, be sure to hit that like button, leave a comment with your thoughts on this future tech, share it with your friends who love gadgets, and definitely subscribe so you don't miss our next bite of tech goodness.